Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Confession. Story 1. Short-changing in McDonald's drive-thru to make cash. As a teenager I worked at Macca's and most shifts I would be at the first window taking orders and payment. I short-change most cars $1 to $2 and keep a telly and at the end of my shift take it from the till. I would easily make $100 and on weekends I more. Story 2. I would intentionally look for thieves in my old retail job looking for fights or chase them outside to get the items back for the thrill of it. Yeah, I know it's not worth it. You can die doing that, you can lose your job doing that, just let them go. I heard all I don't know, it was a very low part of my life, no car / no license / shit job. Growing up I would always get bullied, be it by family members, or people at school. I guess over the years of being the punching bag it just felt good to take charge. And I know, so you're gonna take it out on some bums. I live in a not so good area. These people would have money to buy the stuff but would just steal it, and I mean full on eye contact as they are walking outside with a carriage full. To me it was like they were saying, yeah, I'm not hiding it, I'm gonna walk out with this stuff and you ain't gonna do shit. One day I snapped and chased this guy, body slammed him cause he tried to punch me, and I got all the stuff back. The adrenaline boosts I get from doing this were pure euphoria, but I'm in a better place in life now, far away from that store, and no longer do this. I do have some camera footage of me doing this stuff as trophies, lol, and some more stories. Story 3. I'm knowingly destroying my body and mind and I can't stop. I, 30M, have never been so unhealthy, but I never really was. I grew up very poor, and processed foods, as some of you may know, are much cheaper options. Especially for a family of 6 being solely supported by one adult. I am also autistic, so I have some pretty extreme sensitivities to texture and taste, and as a result, my diet is absolutely garbage. I smoked for almost 15 years, having started when I was 13. A few years back, I quit. I also stopped smoking pot and binge drinking, and for a moment, I was proud of myself. However, that marked the beginning of my physical decline. Just in the last year, I was found to have non-alcohol-related fatty liver disease and high cholesterol, plus I've been 15 pounds overweight for a couple of years now. I also suspect I'm teetering on the edge of diabetes. On top of everything else, I'm extremely mentally ill, a cluster B, a bunch of other pretty common diagnoses, and an unspecified eating disorder, and most days I can barely get out of bed and perform regular self-care, let alone any form of exercise, and I walk less than 5,000 steps a day. My sleep schedule is fucked due to an uncommon sleep disorder that makes it nearly impossible to hold a job or make any normal plans, and so I sleep a majority of the day, sometimes not sleeping until early afternoon. There's so many more things that aren't even worth mentioning, but the end result is that it's all amounting to a slow and steady decline that will lead to my preventable but inevitable death. I plead with myself daily to change and to turn it around while I still can, but time after time, I just give up and fall into my bad habits, sometimes harder than before. I gave up every single vice that helped me cope with everything wrong with me and everything wrong with my life, but I can't stop this one. I don't have the discipline or self-control. If you'd told me several years ago that, despite all the other horrible things I was doing to my body, that shitty processed foods would be my downfall, I'd have laughed in your face as I smoked my 4th cigarette in a row. I routinely make doctor's appointments and then cancel them because A, driving makes me extremely anxious, and B, I already know what they'll say. They'll tell me that I'm killing myself in some sort of convoluted form of suicide and that there's still time to turn it around if I just change everything. I feel like garbage every single day, and yet, I've resigned myself to my fate. The funny part is that despite being a little chubby, I look pretty normal. So at a glance you'd never even know that I'm destroying my body. It's only once you know me that you see my stupidity and realize that I'm a lost cause. Story 4. The time I stole an Apple AirTag and how I regret it. Confession: this story took place not too long ago, so I was just in class, a normal day, and then a kid gets up to go to the bathroom, and as he does my friend tells me that he has an AirTag in his computer case, and I say as a joke I'm gonna hide it, and my friend replies with do it. So I did, Now I don't know why I listened, but I just did, and I took the AirTag and put it in the pencil sharpener, not the actual pencil sharpener but the case the leftovers go into, but then I think, let me empty the shavings out before I put the AirTag in, so I did, but then the worst thing happened. I dropped the AirTag in the garbage bin, so I instantly started searching for it and I just couldn't find it, and then the kid walked back in the room and he checked his MacBook case instantly and I was fearing for my life, but he didn't even suspect me, so I just continued on with my day. How I regret it. Now that I look back at it, he was looking so scared when he couldn't find the AirTag, and all I could think was, why did I do that? Story 5. It's and fruit, not a vegetable, and I'm not talking about tomatoes. I was surprised to learn that olives are a fruit and not a vegetable. I guess it makes sense since the damn things grow on trees, but I'm still a little shaken tbh. Story 6. I slighted ding someone's car. I cannot stop thinking about it. My car is pretty long and I was trying to hit a U-turn, expecting to make it. I didn't. Though I was turning slow, I hit the fender on the car. Worst part was that I drove off without leaving a note. In the moment, I didn't think it would make a difference since the damage was very small, but I still feel bad inconveniencing someone and not owning up to it. Uneasy face. Story 7. I pulled the fire alarm at my school after staring at it for so long. As kids we all get curious as to what things do that are always there but never talked about. Well, at age 5 I always wondered what the red and white levers on the wall did, so being late for class one day I got curious and pulled the alarm and heard the loud blaring and tried pushing it back into place when everyone started running, so I ran with them outside. We also never conducted fire alarm drills that school year before I did this apparently. Back in class, the teacher asked where I was and I told her I was in the bathroom when everyone started to run, and I was never punished. Fast forward 12 years and I go to the church connected to that Christian school and meet an old friend and confess to him what I did, and he was shocked. I explained the above and he laughed, saying that was the most exciting thing I went through all my years at the school, so I'm glad I entertained him. I also apparently had the school's lack of fire drills addressed by the Board of Education and had drills done later in the year after I transferred schools a few weeks after I pulled the alarm, cause the school system stunk, not cause I pulled the alarm. Story 8. I hid my field trip money in someone's desk so they would get in trouble. Definitely an asshole. I was in 5th grade, about 10 or 11 at the time. This girl named Caitlin had been the weird one in our grade. Wore cat ears and ate the big pink erasers. She would always get on my nerves since she sat behind me in every class, either hissing/purring or spiting erasers around the room at people, including me on occasion. It was a week or two before the field trip, so we had to get our permission slips signed and turned in with the money. I came up with the best plan. I would put my envelope in her desk before we went out for recess, so by the time we came in no one would think I put it there. I would pretend cry and tell the teacher that my envelope was missing and who I thought took it. The beginning of the plan went perfectly. I successfully put it in her desk and went on my happy way to recess. All I had to do was fake being upset. We got inside and I immediately ran to my desk pretending to search for my non-existent permission slip. Crying, I ran up to my teacher and told her that I saw Caitlin steal it before recess. Our teacher searched for it in Caitlin's desk, coming up empty-handed. I was beside myself, completely shocked and confused knowing I put it in her desk. Little did I know Caitlin already found it and stashed it in the classroom to take later. My teacher never found it, so I ending not being able to go on the trip for insufficient funds. Karma's a bitch. Story 9. I am having a difficult time bonding with my stepdaughter. Throwaway account just in case. Also on mobile, so I apologize for the format. I, 30F, met my husband, 35M, 5.5 years ago and we married last year. I was initially hesitant about dating him because he had a child, 8F, but I fell in love with him hard, so I told myself that I would adjust. I have never really been great with kids due to lack of exposure, no young siblings, cousins, etc. Well, I have been keeping this strictly to myself for obvious reasons, but I just don't think I like spending time with her or really like talking to her. Or maybe I just don't know how. I do want to make it clear that I never stand in the way of my husband and her time together and do not get jealous of her. She lives with us every other week and he's an amazing and attentive father to her. She's a good kid. She's smart, kind, sociable, and considerate. But a lot of the times when she's around, I just shut down and want to be alone. I know that, as the adult in this relationship, it is up to me to forge this bond with her. She does actually seem to like me as well. I just don't prefer spending time alone with her and don't really know how to talk to her without sounding like I'm trying too hard or feeling very unnatural. I don't think I dislike her. I think of her and care about her well-being. I've never done or said anything malicious, but sometimes I just simply don't want to be around her and get irritated at her just being a kid. So much time has passed and she's growing up now. I want to strengthen our relationship and be an adult in her life who she can trust. I know kids are perceptive as fuck, so I am trying really hard to spend more together with the two of them so that she feels comfortable with me, but I hate to say it that I can only handle hanging out with her in small doses. I don't really know how to change these negative feelings. I'm really trying, but I don't feel like it's enough. I'm looking for some advice. Story 10. I remove the rat poison from the set traps to save birds of prey. I've been removing the poison from these rat traps around my area for years because I've seen it kill squirrels, hawks, and falcons, and I'm not okay with that. Let nature do its thing. Story 11. I can't keep a promise to myself for the life of me. 35/M I'm afraid I can't keep a promise to myself. I have a wife, 2 kids. Live in government-assisted living. 6 ex-felon. I joined Carpenters Union in my state. Rent-free for a year. $900 plus of food stamps. Work is slow for construction, so I do DoorDash on the side. I used to be a heroin/meth addict 3 years clean. I just got back to smoking weed but want to stop, and I make statements like I want to quit smoking weed and go %100 on e-commerce. Been a fuck up all my life and this is the first time I'm really trying to be somebody. I think drugs that I did 3 to 4 years ago still affect me. I'm a friendly guy but never could make genuine friends. Everything is going good at the moment, alhamdulillah, all praise to God. I feel something is going to go wrong if I don't keep promises to myself. This is my first time writing down my thoughts, so apologize if I didn't articulate it well. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.